Oh, stop it. We are putting all kinds of resources onto the street.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Martin issued a press release hailing the drop in crime rates at the end of it. What changed?
It's never enough. This changed. This changed. It's never enough. You tell these families crime has dropped. You tell the mother of the intern who was shot going out from McDonald's near the Washington Convention Center, oh, crime is down. You tell the kid who was just beat the hell and back with a severe concussion and a broken nose, crime is down. No, that falls on deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that. And that's why I fight the fight. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. We got to talk about a major breaking story because once again, the right was proven right. Once again. You guys remember when we were saying that the crime statistics that they were putting out were doctored and were fake? Well, turns out we were right. When all of these liberals were out here saying, crime is down, we don't need the National Guard, Trump is just trying to take over, crime is down, look at the statistics. And we were like, there's no way. We see the videos, we see the clips, we hear the stories. There's no way crime has actually dropped. Turns out, dirty scoundrels playing their tricks once again. Fudging the numbers. Next stop, D.C. Let's dive in.
And moments ago, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro here in Washington, D.C., responding to allegations that D.C. crime data was manipulated by the outgoing police chief, Pamela Smith. That claim coming from a new House Oversight Committee report. Our congressional correspondent Bill Malugin with the latest on Capitol Hill. Bill?
Well, John, Republicans on the House Oversight Committee say their investigation concluded that this outgoing D.C. police chief was trying to make the city seem a whole lot safer than it really was, and she was doing it by allegedly cooking the books on crime statistics. So the Republicans on the committee say their investigation consisted of interviewing 7 different D.C. Metro police commanders who represent all of the patrol districts out here. That included a former commander who's currently suspended for allegedly tampering with crime stats in his own district. And these are some of the conclusions they've made in their report. Number one, they allege that D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to report lower crime stats by any means necessary. Commanders testified that Chief Smith pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't publicly reported, even for serious crimes, and she also required certain crimes to be reviewed by her office. In a statement on this report, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says in part, quote, Chief Pamela Smith coerced staff to report artificially low crime data and cultivated a culture of fear to achieve her agenda. Chief Smith's decision to mislead the public by manipulating crime stats is dangerous and undermines trust in both local leadership and law enforcement. Meanwhile, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser was asked to respond to the House Oversight Committee Republicans' findings earlier this morning. Take a listen.
I don't see any evidence of that. If the claim is, and I don't think anybody has demonstrated that the police chief directed anybody to change numbers. When the committee provides me their backup information, which they haven't, when the committee provided the report to the Washington Post before they provided it to us, highly unusual when you're talking about an audit of numbers.
And John, just moments ago, the U.S. Attorney here in D.C.
Not unusual, because that's the same game that Democrats play. It's the same game that Democrats play. Oh yeah, we're gonna run to the media. We're gonna run to the media with this. We're gonna run to the media with this, or we're going to anonymously leak this information anonymously. We had an anonymous source. Highly unusual. Okay, highly unusual. All right. If that's what you want to run with, fair enough.
Janine Pirro responded to this report. She put out a statement on X, which essentially says that, yes, these crime stats were manipulated, and the manipulation of that data shows that President Trump has reduced crime here in D.C. a whole lot more than initially thought. She went on to say that what happened here with the crime stats does not rise to the level of any criminal charges or a crime, but that the D.C. Police Department has to change their practices moving forward. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, I know that before everything changed in the summer, we were all hearing, well, the crime is down in D.C., and none of us had anything to peg that to. So yeah, we'll see where this goes from here. Welcome to D.C., by the way, again, Bill.
So once again, a right-wing conspiracy theory, right? Because that's what they were calling it, is proven right. They were cooking the books. Now, while this may not rise to the level of, an actual crime itself, it is noteworthy that we were right once again. What we were saying was actually the truth. Them running around, oh, crime is down, when we can actually see that crime is clearly not down. We're seeing the stories, we're hearing the stories. And if you think that was a one-off, well, I got news for you. You'd be wrong. You would be wrong. Because I know some liberals going to say, well, Rich, that just happened in D.C. You guys were saying that was happening all over the place. Well, I introduced to you Gilbert, Arizona. Take it away.
Gilbert, Arizona, a town known nationwide, the beauty found in its quiet family streets, endorsed by an impressive federal designation, one of the safest places to live. But some say it's all a lie.
The question is, are we as safe as we told the public we were?
Police officers and the residents have suffered as a result.
Last month, former Councilman Bill Spence pulling back the curtain during public comment. Spence detailing a conversation he had with current town councilman Kenny Buckland, who used to be high up within Gilbert Police.
During these conversations, he made several concerning statements about Gilbert Police Department policies implemented by former Police Chief Tim Dorn.
Spence says Buckland told him a decade ago Gilbert Police changed crime reporting protocol, designating a new priority for calls for service.
In reference to Chief Dorn, he said he fudged numbers.
The change was called Priority Zero.
And he specifically talked about bank robberies, injury collisions were the ones that he had cited that were specifically moved out of the highest priority into another priority.
Spence says Priority Zero is abnormal. Data's typically track Priority 1 through 4, and when calls got moved, you could see the difference.
We had 15,000 emergency calls for service. Simply by manipulating the numbers and establishing a Priority Zero, we took 14,500 calls and moved them into a different priority, leaving only 500 calls for our most severe calls for service.
The new numbers sent to the FBI, creating a resounding designation as the 2022 second safest city in America.
Well, in that specific instance, it took our reported response times from 6 minutes and 31 seconds down to under 4 minutes. By doing nothing but changing the database.
Spence says the town's newfound reputation came at a cost. With less crime comes fewer officers, but it's all based on bad numbers.
Once again, allegedly cooking the books. From an inside person saying that. That's what they do. They don't actually fix the crime because their policies are genuinely garbage. So they don't actually fix the crime. They just change the way that they report it. And by changing the way that they report it, they change the public numbers. You heard them. Went from 15,000 down to 500. But then again, I guess a snake is always going to be a snake, right? Doesn't matter what they look like, what color they are, how big they are, right? A snake is a snake. It's going to always be a snake. And that's exactly what the Democrat Party genuinely is. It's a bunch of snakes. Bunch of slithery snakes. Keep your grass cut low, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your grass cut low. This is just crazy. Crazy. They're so terrible at their jobs. They're just playing with the numbers now. Like I said, man, once again, we were proven right. Once again. Y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Make sure you send this to all of your liberal friends and family members, letting them know that we were right once again. It wasn't a lie. What we were saying about crime was not a lie. It was actually the Democrat Party and mainstream media that was lying about it. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.